Welcome to Biker Life Radio with Chuck-n-Deb, heard each Wednesday afternoon on 1490 AM WWPR. And now, here's Chuck-n-Deb.
Hi, I'm Chuck.
And Deb.
And welcome to Biker Life Radio. We're so truly grateful and thankful that you've joined us today. We've got a fantastic show lined up just for you.
Biker Life Radio is for those who are inspired to ride and those who inspire others to ride. We are here to reveal the truth behind the motorcycle mystique and bring real-life stories of biker lifestyles.
All right, we've got some sponsors that we'd like to recognize today.
Today's Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy out of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So if you're ready to crank up your engines, put your chins in the wind, knees in the breeze, and seats in the saddle, then hang on and let's get rolling.
All right, we are kick-starting the show today. Actually been bumped up to prime time. We are now Wednesday from 5 to 6. So be sure to let everybody know that we are now no longer at 4 o'clock. We are at 5 o'clock, prime time. So you get to listen to us on the way home. We are really thankful that we had a fantastic weekend. In fact, before we go too much further, I want to acknowledge some of our contributing sponsors. We did a big raffle this weekend at Thunder by the Bay, and it was a huge success. And it was a win-win for everybody. That's why everybody was a winner. In fact, everyone that bought a raffle ticket was a winner. But the big winner in all of it was the Suncoast Charities for Children. That's where all the proceeds of the raffle went. But we could not have done it without our contributing sponsors. So, Deb, could you run down the list so that we can give a thanks to everybody right off the bat before we get started today?
Absolutely. A big thank you to Another Broken Egg out of Lakewood Ranch, Anna Maria Oyster Bar, Humanistic Astrologer Brian Hill, Cody's Roadhouse, Dan's Mobile V-Twin, Hooters out of Bradenton, Nicole Salon on Palm, The Ride Hard Saloon, Rossiter's Harley Davidson, 60s East, Speaks Clam Bar out of Lakewood Ranch, Truman's Bar and Grill, and Winghouse Bar and Grill out of Bradenton. Thank you, thank you, thank you for making the big raffle a big success.
We really appreciate each and every one of you, and we're all grateful for those who bought the raffle tickets and those contributors that we had, because it went all to a very good cause. Again, the Suncoast Charities for Children. All right, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you. And a matter of fact, you want to make sure that you stay tuned throughout the entire show, because there may be some people you know and maybe not. So there's Everywhere Eddy and the Squirrel. So who are those? Maybe some of you know who Everywhere Eddy is. Maybe some of you know who the Squirrel is. The Squirrel has been talked about on the show several times by Dutch Van Alstin. So that's coming up right after Dutch. So you want to stay tuned. And go ahead and get your friends to start listening right now. Make phone calls. Put a post out on Facebook. Put a post on Twitter. Do whatever it takes, because Everywhere Eddy's coming up, and also the Squirrel, not to mention who's coming up right now. We'll give you just one moment to make those calls, get those posts out, because who do we have coming out right now, Deb?
Dutch Van Alstin, the author of Demons Rising, the story of the Wayward Scout, book number 1 in the Life Behind Bars book series.
Okay, so you just got through reading, Deb, his most recent book. You were a beta reader for him, so what's the name of that book?
Rebellious Youth, the story of the lost child. Now, don't let that fool you, because it was deep, and it was action-packed, and it was exciting.
Okay.
So you got to pick it up after you read number 1.
You got things to look forward to. I'll try to pick up that and start reading it myself. But in the meantime, here you go. Here's Dutch Van Alstin in Raw in Unapologetic.
Hello, everybody, from the sound stage of Dutch's Man Cave, located in his mansion along the sun coast of Florida. As stated, I am Dutch Van Alstin. I am the author of Demons Rising, the story of the Wayward Scout. And you're going to have to forgive me today, although I am raw and unapologetic. It's mostly my voice today. I've been fighting off this little ridiculous bug now for about a week. I don't know what happened to the days where you used to get sick for 24 hours and it was over. You took a shot of whiskey and you took off on your bike and you felt better. Well, Apparently, those days are going for me because this thing has just lingered on and on and on as it has all weekend. So you're going to have to forgive me if I do a lot of breathing heavy. It's not an obscene phone call, I assure you. It is just me trying to speak. It's just like that right there. And if you forgive me if I cough, I don't have a cough button. The closest thing I have is Bubbles, who will put a towel over my face occasionally, which she's had to do once or twice. Not quite sure why she put chloroform on it the last couple of times, but that's neither here nor there. So again, forgive me. We did spend the weekend, by we, I don't mean Bubbles. Chuck, Deb, and I spent the weekend at the Thunder by the Bay in Sarasota, Florida. For those of you who are not familiar, it was a very hugely successful motorcycle festival located downtown Sarasota along, yes, you guessed it, the bay. But apparently some ne'er-do-wells kind of complained about the whole biker subculture being there all weekend and diminishing their property values and whatnot. So they moved it to Robarts Arena / Sarasota County Fairgrounds. It's a nice venue. It is. I don't mean to minimize that whatsoever, but it's really not by the bay anymore. We did have a good time. We seemed to procrastinate a little bit, maybe the first 2 days, which is just kind of code word for we sat and drank and just laughed and had a great time. We did get to meet some people, and we shook some hands, we took some video and all that kind of stuff, so we really did have a good time. I do want to congratulate Chuck-n-Deb for their new drive time slot from 5 to 6. That is a very good news for the show. People now have something to listen to on the way home as they're screaming and honking and flipping off everybody without a Florida license plate, and maybe a few with a Florida plate. But this new time is going to serve us well, and I congratulate both of them for having such a successful show where we have now been promoted, as it were. I'm going to do my very best to prolong this segment as much as I can because this is a heck of a strain on me right now. And with every little syllable I take, I just wince in pain, and I just don't want to lose my natural charm within my sickness today. As I said, it was both good and bad. I don't know whether to cover the good first or the bad first. So I'm going to take a lesson from my old grandmother and just do the bad news first so I can finish off on a more positive note. One is, this was a festival, okay? You're talking about a plethora of men, overweight men, who want to put their leathers on, ride their Harley for the weekend, and come and drink some beer and just hoot and holler, listen to the bands. It's some good bands, some really good tribute bands, and they were excellent. Warrant was there. The actual Warrant from the 1980s was there Saturday night. But it is a festival. Food, beer, friendship, laughing, yay, all that kind of stuff. The amount of security needed for a festival, and I'm just going to keep emphasizing that F word, festival, because that's what it was, a festival. The amount of security needed really, really was not proper. I'm going to put that. You really, on a festival, because that's what it was, a festival, you need a couple of deputies maybe walking through the area, eating a little cotton candy and waving to people and saying hello. I understand that. You got to make some sort of presence. I get it. But what they had was what we used to make fun of as a child. We, as Americans, used to make fun of other countries who had armed military presence in civilian areas. And that is really what we had there this weekend from the Sarasota County Sheriffs. We had not once, but twice, a passerby of a large vehicle with, I think there were 6 deputies dressed in, without unmistakably, olive drab military garb with machine guns, just cruising the, did I tell you again, it was a festival? The festival. That's what it was. It was actually a really disgusting display, and we, as Americans, do not need an armed military presence at a festival. How dare them to even assume that the problems were going to arise where such a disproportionate response was going to be needed. Now, before any of you say, well, it's a motorcycle festival, there could be gangs there and such. Well, guess what? There were motorcycle clubs there. and they had the same problem they had at this festival as they did last year, the year before, the year before that. You noticing a pattern? There's never been an issue here. This notion that we need to prevent a problem by such a militarized presence is just wrong on all levels. So boo to them. They didn't impress me at all. Now on to the good stuff. I mean, the pizza was delicious. The Chinese food was delicious. The people we met were just absolutely wonderful. I got to see a couple of new little dogs. I got to hug a couple of women that I've never hugged before. We got to interview some people that we never got to interview before. It was a good weekend. I don't really recall it too much because we did drink most of the weekend. Some of the high points that I do recall was the motorcycle show. There were some beautiful, beautiful old pieces of machinery there. Phil from Rossiter Hollery brought in a 1929 flathead or an F-head. I got to look up my stats here. I don't know. I think a 1929 was actually before the flathead. So I'm going to say an F-head. And it was just looked like it. All I could do was picture it in 1929 that it was on a showroom floor somewhere with some young salesman trying to sell it to somebody. It just fascinating. A bunch of shovel heads, a bunch of iron heads. I have not seen a lot of these bikes. I go to a lot of these shows because I have the Flintstone bike and I have my own shovel head. And I usually know the more popular motorcycles in these shows, but there were some unique surprises there and a lot of trophies. They did a great job of that show. I really wanted to enter my Flintstone bike, but the logistics of carrying the equipment back on Sunday was just such where that just made that task impossible. But one of the more unique stories, this is going to sound benign in a way, but it's kind of interesting because once you park your motorcycle, you have to walk probably a quarter of a mile to get to the vendors. I mean, by the time you park and walk through the parking lot, across the way and through the front gate and then down the, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. Well, while we were sitting there, this kid, at least I'm assuming he was a kid, walked up. He had shorts and sneakers on, but a full-face helmet with his shield. So he never took his helmet off from the time he got off the bike. And he's asking if we sell radio equipment because he needed a Bluetooth. And I couldn't understand him. And finally, he lifted up his shield and said I could understand him then. He needed a Bluetooth. I said, we don't sell radio equipment. But all I could think of is, why do you still have your helmet and your face shield on? I mean, it's 85 degrees. Do you plan on robbing the pizza place later or what? It was just an odd thing to do. I don't quite get that. And although these events are a lot of work setting up, and I witnessed just how hard it is to set up as I sat there in the chair and nursed my drink and played up this whole sick routine as much as I could so I didn't have to actually do any of the physical work. We do plan on doing more of these because they are good outreach. We really do enjoy speaking to people out in the public and things of that nature and getting to talk to real people. And they are real people, and I don't want to go back to my diatribe on the militarized presence, but these are the type of people that go to these festivals, and they're not hardened criminals, and they really didn't need to be viewed as such. So, cheers to the Sarasota County Sheriffs for what they pulled, and cheers to the people that we met, the people that we got to speak to. The pizza was actually good. The music was good. The festivity was good. The venue was good. Whoever did the plotting and planning of this event did an excellent job. To put all of this together has got to be a difficult task that I would not want to undertake. I don't have natural organizational skills that would be needed for such an undertaking. And I am starting to ramble a bit because I am hot, and I don't mean hot like I was in the 1980s. I mean hot as in I got a fever right now that hopefully is going to break very, very soon. So I am going to cut my segment off a little bit shorter than normal to kind of save you all from my rambling. Anyway, please hit like on my Life Behind Bars Facebook page, Life Behind Bars book series Facebook page. Please hit like on Chuck-n-Deb show and Biker Life Radio because wherever it's happening, Biker Life Radio is going to be there. And remember, folks, if your wife asks you if she's getting fat, tell her no. She's just more visible than she was when you married her. And from my very sick and flu-ridden brain, from that brain to your ears, This is Yabba Dabba Dutch finally signing off and going to take a nap. Thank you.
Man, Dutch, I feel horrible for him. He was such a trooper, though, all weekend long. He just stuck it out. He was there. He was present. He had a good time. And I hope he gets to feeling better soon and we don't catch any of that stuff.
And he was so committed to you guys, to his listeners, that he actually got on and forced himself to do that. So way to go, Dutch. I appreciate that. And, one of the things that Dutch brought up, I felt very strongly about as well. It was about the show of force that was there with those machine guns and the way they were out. I did have a thought, and even Deb and I talked about it a little bit. Even though, let's say that maybe they were there to prevent maybe some terrorism. There was Lou there from the West Coast Florida Writers, right. And Lou said, even if somebody did try to do something, there's enough people there with firearms that they probably wouldn't succeed. So really, the show of force was there, whether it might have been for some type of terrorism or just whatever. I think it was excessive. I'm in total agreement with Dutch. I want to think positive about it. And actually, the guys, when they went by, we did get some pictures, and they were throwing up peace signs. I guess that's a nice thing, but to have machine guns riding around was a little bit strange. So I'm going to just try to look on the positive side and think that they were maybe there, I guess, protecting us. It's just that's what the show is about. It's about the motorcycle mystique, and I feel like that we were being misrepresented. Like Dutch said, this is a festival where people might not know where bikers stuff all that much. There's a lot of music. There was kids. There was families. So when they see something like that, what goes through their mind? And that's how it just sort of affected me. You got anything, Deb?
Sure. The only thing I thought of is if there was maybe some sort of a call or a reason for them to be there, I would have appreciated it to be more subtle. Come in a back gate, be subtle. Don't just be riding right through the middle of the event and down our aisleways where there are buyers and shoppers and lookers and people just wanting to talk and have a good time. Like you said, it was a festival.
Let's put it this way. We met a young lady that wants to have a dance festival, and she invited us to come to it. I guarantee you they're not going to be out there riding at that dance festival. Any listeners want to take wages on that? Give me a call. Just hit us up on that voicemail. All right. So anyway, we're going to keep on moving here. We're going to go ahead and get to an interview that we did with Everywhere Eddy and the Squirrel. So take it away. Here you go.
All right, we are here with Everywhere Eddy at Thunder by the Bay, and we just saw Everywhere Eddy riding by. He was being chauffeured, weren't you? How'd you manage that, Everywhere?
I was being chauffeured by my good buddy Joe Gleba, who works here. He works for Lucy, and I've known Lucy Nicandri for forever.
She's wonderful.
And matter of fact, years ago, when Thunder was back down on Main Street.
Yeah, that's right, the good old days.
The good old days.
Yep.
I was the official photographer for Thunder for about 4 or 5 years.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's great to know.
Yeah, and then I moved from Sarasota, moved up north, and kind of left Thunder, but I come back every year. And this year, I had to come up because yesterday I was down in Marathon in the Keys.
Right on. You gotta love that, man.
I went down for I was invited down for the Coralhead Music Fest. And they wanted Everywhere Eddy down there.
Absolutely. Who doesn't?
I went down, had a great time, and I said, well, this morning I'm on the bike, and I'm at Thunder this afternoon. I left Marathon about 10 after 9, and here I am.
There you go. And we're so honored to have you here, too, Everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's great. But, before we got started, there's some things that's been going on with you that I thought it would be important for our audience, our listeners to hear, so they get the biker community here, so they get caught up on what's going on with you and where you're at and what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I got out of the golf cart here, I said, I'm back.
That's what exactly his first words were, I'm back. Yeah.
Well, I'm back. I'm back riding, and it's great. Matter of fact, I'm on my new 2020 Road Glide special.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, what a bike.
Boy.
And I tell you, it's the first time I've had it up high speeds.
Yeah, okay.
Coming across Alligator Alley. I almost
smile on his face, right?
Yeah, like you can't wipe that off.
Don't tell anybody, but I almost buried it on Alligator Alley.
How'd that happen?
Oh, I saw that needle going up, and the speedometer kept going up, and it kept going up, and
yet you kept on going, right?
yeah.
And smiling.
I mean, he's got you guys, for listeners, he's got a huge smile on his face right now. Keep going.
I saw it get up to 110, and I'm going, should I bury it? And I said, no, I think I'll back off. And,
there you go.
Backed off from 110.
Yeah.
Because you want to get it later.
Yeah, next.
What was your goal on that one, Eddie?
Next time across the alley.
There you go. Exactly right.
Yeah,
Give you something to go back for.
Leave
I
a goal
tell
out
you.
there to achieve next
But
ride.
that bike is unbelievable.
Right on. So what color is it? Because last time I saw you used to have a white bike, right?
Yeah, it's still the Bonneville Salt White.
Okay.
Matter of fact,
All right.
it's a one-of-a-kind 2020 Road Glide Special.
Excellent.
It's the only one in Bonneville Salt White
Fantastic.
that I
man.
know of.
That you know of. That
Yeah.
works.
And I've done quite a bit to it, including the big fat front tire,
Oh, love it.
which really, when you're doing high speeds like that,
Which we know you do.
I tell you, you can feel the difference in the ride. It's amazing. And when I was coming through Miami, there's some wet roads because it was raining down there on and off. And
Sure.
that fat front tire,
Yeah.
that grips the road.
It really
You have
hugs you
more
good,
rubber,
huh?
you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's really great.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad you got a new bike. It sounds exciting. I can't wait to see it. And you've already got some miles on it. So how many miles?
I just went over, I'm around 5,500.
Good for you, man.
I'm going to have to call and make an appointment for my 5K service.
That time.
this
That's
week.
right. That's
There
right.
you go. Well,
No
I want to
doubt.
take a step back because where we started talking about the bike was all about Eddie's back, and we
Sure.
just kind of jumped right over that. So
Yeah, Eddie's back.
that's
Well,
right.
Eddie's back. Everywhere is everywhere again.
That's good.
It's funny, but back in December, I had a slight health issue, which got pretty scary.
Okay.
And it all started out with a bloody nose, believe it or
Really?
not.
Wow.
I had a couple of bloody nose incidents 2 or 3 days in a row. Then it stopped, and I went up to wreaths across America, up at the National Cemetery in Bushnell.
Right.
And I'm up there and placing a wreath on my parents' tomb, and as I stand up, my nose starts shooting blood.
Now that's strange.
Oh, I was scared. I didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on. Fortunately, a good buddy of mine and his girlfriend were there with me, and she knew what to do. She said, Eddie, take your glasses off, and she started pinching my nose as hard as she could.
Okay.
And she got the bleeding to clot. It stopped. And, well, to make a long story short, the following Monday, I went to see my ENT. And I'm at the ENT's office, and I'm explaining to him the bloody nose incidents I had prior to getting there the week before. And he goes, well, let's take a look. And he puts the scope up, and he goes, Eddie, you've got I hate to say this, but you've got a problem. I go,
Uh-oh.
what do you mean I've got a problem? He goes, you have a major blood vessel in your left nostril that's leaking. And that's what's causing your bloody nose.
Man.
So I said, okay, well, what do we do?
Exactly.
He goes, well, we're just going to cauterize it right here in the office. Not a big deal.
Oh, wow. It sounds like a big deal.
Oh, I tell you. So 2 nurses come in. They bring in the machine to cauterize my nose. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, geez, I just came here for a checkup. And all of a sudden, it blows. And blood starts shooting out all over in the office.
Man.
So the doctor looks to one of the nurses and he goes, this isn't good.
Wow.
Just what I wanted to hear
Yeah,
my
thanks,
doctor
Doc.
say. This isn't good.
I didn't see that in medical school, right?
Then he turns to me and he goes, Eddie, you're going to be everywhere. That's including the OR in a few minutes.
Oh.
I go, what? Yes, you have to go to the OR right away because we have to do the heavy-duty cauterization on your nose.
Oh,
we can't do it here in the office. So I ended up in the emergency room and then a few minutes later into the operating room.
Oh Oh my gosh.
So it was a long, it took me about 7 to 8 weeks for me to recover from that whole episode.
That's pretty scary, man. I mean, because what was going through your head at that time?
Oh,
I mean, they're telling you
you
all this stuff. You got to go in and get that done, and
it was scary.
No doubt. And blood is scary enough, isn't it?
I tell you, I've never seen so much blood.
Yeah.
And this is the best part. I went in for my post-op exam about 10 days later after the surgery, and he goes to me. He goes, "Everywhere, you're lucky you were here in my office when that nose
Isn't that
went."
true?
He goes, "Because if you were out on your bike somewhere, if you were out somewhere remote where you couldn't get help right away," he goes, "chances are you would have bled out."
Oh,
I said, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." So when I heard that, I knocked on wood.
Yeah. Somebody was watching
knocking
out
on his head right now.
Yeah.
Somebody watched out for Everywhere Eddie.
Oh, yeah. And so I'm here. And
You're back.
I started riding about 2 weeks ago.
Right on.
And I gradually, a few miles a day here and there, and I'm building it up. And I had the opportunity to go down to Marathon this weekend, and I said, geez, it's quite a long ride. But you know what?
Well worth it.
I'm up for it.
No doubt.
And I did it, and here I am. I came back, and it's been a great weekend. We're here.
And he's doing his best. He stopped by Thunder by the Bay. And
oh, yeah.
I'm so glad to see him. It was like a treat when we saw you. That's why I had to yell at you. Like, look, there's Everywhere Eddie.
Eddie, I got a couple of things.
Yeah.
One thing we should explain with a cauterizing, which is like a surgical sealing of a leak, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it
I just want to
Basically,
explain it.
that's a good
what
thing
they go in, and I guess they burn.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's
Absolutely.
like burn. That's what I'm thinking of.
One comment and one question. One is, the comment is when the doctor told you we got a major problem, what was your response?
I sat there. I was like dumbfounded.
Yeah, but you said, how do we...
Yeah, what do we...
Oh.
What do we do? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's when a doctor says
Oh,
to you
yeah.
eye to eye in a waiting or in a patient room, you got a major problem.
Yeah.
And your response is how we fix that. I commend
Exactly.
you for that.
Exactly.
You're already in problem-solving mode.
This wasn't good, but...
But still, you were already in problem-solving mode.
Exactly.
Hey, always. If there's a problem, and people come up to me. I've helped people out. I was in Leesburg, and some guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, do you have any Allen wrenches? A pedal came off of the..." And I said, "Yeah, okay, hold on." I open my saddlebag, I pull out tools, and the guy's dumbfounded. He goes, "Oh, my God."
You're prepared for anything.
That's right.
I'm always prepared, It's the
Well,
old Boy Scout in me, I guess.
There you
I
go.
don't know.
My question to you is, because I don't know you, I just met you, but where did everything or Everywhere Eddie come from?
Good question, Dutch. That's fantastic.
Oh, my God.
I love
here we
that.
come.
Thank you so much, Dutch.
Let's see.
I see it on your arm, but there's got to be a story behind it.
Years ago when I lived down here in Sarasota, I used to ride all over. And then I moved up to the Tampa Bay area. And when I got up there, I started going to every bike night I could find. And people would say, "We see you everywhere." And after hearing that about 100 times, I said, "You know what? Everywhere and Eddie. It kind of
right, it
goes
works.
together."
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it kind of stuck. And here I am, and I worked for Born to Ride. I worked for Full Throttle magazine for a few years. Then I went to Born to Ride. I was with them for just about 4 years, maybe a little over 4 years, being Everywhere Eddie.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've traveled not everywhere, but almost. On my 13 Road Glide, I rode that bike through 45 of the 48 states.
That's
Fantastic.
virtually everywhere.
And, all by myself. And it's been an amazing journey, an amazing trip, and I love being everywhere. And now I'm back, and watch for big things to come from Everywhere Eddie.
I'm so looking forward to it, man. It's great to have you on the show. We're so grateful and thankful that you're back and you're doing well. And let me give you a hug right here on the air.
Oh, yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate it.
We are so honored to have
Hopefully
Everywhere
I'll come back
Eddie
on the
hang
show
out with
again,
us.
Love to
you
have
know?
you back.
That's right.
You're like I say, it's an honor to have you here. We can learn so much from you, so we want to make sure that we stay in touch with you as you move forward. So.
And in April, I have a surprise guest that's coming in from New Mexico.
Okay.
A young lady, Dee Jones, who has ridden all over.
Okay.
Matter of fact, she wrote a book, and it's a great book. It's called The 50 States of Consciousness.
Oh, I like that a lot.
And she's ridden through all 50 states, and I don't know how many times. She's ridden to Alaska like 5 times.
Nice.
And she's coming down to visit, and we're going to be bringing her around. We're going to be doing book signings with her, bringing her around to different bike nights, and I'd love to get her on the show.
Oh, heck yeah. We'd love to have her, no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll come where you are, too. Whatever it takes, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, she's going to be here, I think, the first week of April, the first and second week of April. She's
Right
gonna
on,
be here for a couple of weeks, and she's fantastic. What a gal. I mean, the female riders in the area, all the Diva Angels, the Stilettos on Steel.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to get all those ladies to come in and meet Dee Jones, because
that'd be
she's
excellent.
an inspiration for lady riders. I tell you, she's amazing.
It sounds like it, but do you have a venue set up yet for that? Or
Well, we're going to be at Burt's.
Okay.
We're going to be at Quaker Steak for the Wednesday night bike night.
All right.
She just bought a new BMW, so we're going to be going up to the BMW dealer in Tampa.
Right on.
And so she'll probably do a book signing there, and we're going to be bringing her around wherever we can.
I love it. I'm going to look so forward to tuning in and going out and checking you guys out. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely
awesome.
Fantastic. It
She's
really will.
excited.
Yeah, I can only
and
imagine.
she can't wait to get down here. So.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway.
LMNOP. Private joke.
Sorry.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I love those private jokes.
We'll fill you in a little bit later.
Right.
Yeah, well, we'll certainly stay in touch.
guys,
Thank you.
Well,
Eddie.
while you're here, do you happen to know this guy over here?
Oh.
He knows. Oh, see what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? So we got another special guest here.
How you doing, brother?
There you go. You guys had to know one another.
Oh, we know each other.
What we got Squirrel. We're so fortunate to have Squirrel and Everywhere Eddy in one spot.
in the same box,
That's
bro.
right. That's right.
The same place.
Squirrel, what's up?
And I just did the burnout competition.
Yeah, was you over there?
Yeah, it was me over there.
Yeah, we smelled your smoke.
You smelled me? The kid that was there first, I promised him I wouldn't blow my tire, so I let him win. Now I have no tire left. I'm telling you, I have cords showing through the tire. There's barely cords showing through the tire. But you know what? It's all about, I plugged the event, I plugged Trump, I plugged what's going on. I said, it's kind of like doing this here right now. It's about getting out of the box, because that's what it's all about.
Getting out of the box.
Getting out of the box. Out of the box. And you know what? Out of the box where Jesus rocks. When that dude was here, he didn't stay in the box. And the only difference between me and that other dude and everybody else here with the bike was, we chose to go do that.
Right.
So I'm challenging everybody in the sound of my voice to choose to make sure in November you go do what you got to do.
And you made the right choice to be here,
we don't need
Squirrel. There's
Bloomberg
no doubt
and
about
Hillary.
it. No.
We need Trump again.
So how are you going to make it back with a tire down to the cords?
Tire's not gone, but listen to this, it will be. Because we came in and out so many times, and we have that bike and a bike show. Try to get it back to the bike show in time.
How are you going to get it back to across the bay with the ball?
Well, no, I brought a trailer. I'm smart enough.
Oh, all right.
I knew something
Now the truth leaks out.
Something like this might happen because I am a little squirrely,
I didn't know that. What's your name again?
Trailers in.
So here I am. I'm like wearing a yellow shirt doing a burnout competition. My shirt's kind of ruined, okay? But on the way in and out, the people at the back said, man, we don't get to see nothing. I said, really? Can I do a burnout when I leave? And the guy went, yes. Well, guess what? I think I have this much tire left. I know I'm only on the radio,
good God.
but this much.
He is holding his forefinger and thumb very close.
This much.
That much. Oh
that
my
much
God.
tire left. You can't put paper between. It's holding air and that's it. But thank you, Jesus, my trailer's like 50 feet from the entrance.
There you go.
Wow.
So they are going to get something before I leave, I guarantee you.
So you guys know one another.
We've known each other for many years.
Anybody can think back that far to where you guys met? How you guys got to know one another?
It's been, where was it?
I don't know, but
Was it a Waffle House? I'm just curious.
The Waffle House.
I'm just curious.
1:30 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
Eddie, everybody.
Eddie is a little older than me. I'm only $29.95, so he probably won't remember. But neither
tax included.
But we've known each other for. I don't know, Eddie. I don't remember when I first met you. It's been so long.
It's been years.
It's been a long time. I don't know if it was an event. I don't know where it was. But I'm shy, so who knows where it was?
Yeah, you're
right?
shy.
You're shy, really?
We can tell you're shy.
Thunder by the Bay.
It could have been Thunder by the Bay, but who knows?
Because I meet a lot of people
You know, I'm
Thunder
just-
by the Bay over the years.
I'm one of them kind of people that very few people actually know who I am because I'm so shy. My wife, now the redhead cat over there, she's the one that's very outspoken. And,
Really? I can tell.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to hug her instead of me. I don't understand
I get
that.
that.
I think I might know why I have a theory, but I'm
All
not
right, honey, come over here and say something and give Eddie a hug. Hey, I want to challenge everybody out there because here comes the Squirrel's famous line, and we don't know how it's going to have the twist to it.
Does it result in me hugging your old lady? Because that's all I want.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care where she gets her appetite to eat as long as she comes home for dinner.
There you go.
It's all good.
She started over there.
No, she's already over there, okay?
Oh my God, Eddie, what do you got that I don't have? Because I want it.
The right position.
This made the trip from the Keys worth it, I tell you.
So let me leave this with you all because I got to get back to the bike show because I want to win something, okay? Let me leave this with you all. Anybody that's ever ridden a motorcycle knows that you cannot keep moving forward unless you're balanced. You will tip over.
Here, here.
And you cannot stay balanced unless you're moving forward.
Testify.
So leave it at that. Oh, no, I'm not going to leave it at that. How about speed bumps?
How did I know that?
Speed bumps? How did everybody know? We had some speed bumps on the way down here. Let me tell you something. One of my bikes, I slammed it so low to the ground that when I drive over a speed bump, I get stuck. Stuck. So I learned that you got to hit them speed bumps wide open or you got to hit them at an angle. You hit them at an angle, it's still scary because the bike wobbles. I actually was stuck on a speed bump one time, couldn't get off. The bike was so big it was a dresser. I had to wait till somebody came and got me, and all I kept doing was looking back, waiting for this guy to get here.
You told me never to look back.
Never look back. Life is also a journey of speed bumps. When you hit it, hit that sucker wide frickin'
There we go. Then
open.
you don't have to look back,
And
right?
never look back.
Stand tall, ride free, never look back.
Here.
Thank you, Squirrel. We appreciate it.
Love you guys, man.
Thank you, brother.
So honored to have everywhere Eddie and the one and only the Squirrel
And his cat.
Yep. Thank you guys. Thank you all so much.
Well, it's been great.
Yep.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh man, everywhere. It's been our pleasure, buddy.
All right.
Can't wait for your trip to continue.
It was just so amazing to have Eddie and Squirrel and both at the same time. That was great. Thank you
What
both
a
so
riot.
much. So kind of shifting gears, moving on, we actually had a chance to talk to a biker from the upstate New York area. And coincidentally enough, he and Dutch just hit it off. So we're going to bring Jim up next to share a little bit of fun with everyone.
Enjoy.
Who do we have here? We've got Jim. Jim, where you from?
Greenville, New York.
All right, from Greenfield, New York. And Dutch, you're from that area, right?
I'm from a dumpster nearby, Greenville, New York.
All right, very good. So you guys were just singing, what is that, what do they call it? Jingle for somebody?
Yep.
Magilla Gorilla.
Magilla
And how do you guys know about Magilla
Because
Gorilla?
we're old and we had no life as children.
Watch cartoons a lot.
Watch cartoons a lot, yes.
And so you guys have never met before, is that correct?
Correct.
Well, we did 5 minutes ago.
Right.
Well, a couple of days ago when he was moping around.
He was moping around. You saw him, Jim. What was he doing moping around?
I was just plain lazy.
He was lazy.
Watching everybody else work.
So
Exactly, the definition of lazy.
All right, here's what I want to do. I want to hear that song again, though. I want to hear the jingle.
yeah, let's get a space in between.
Yeah, that's a quiet wait.
We're live here from Thunder by the Bay, and we've got Jim here from upstate New York. Would that be a right way to say it?
Jim's right.
All right.
All right, so for our audience on video, we want to make sure we capture the audio of these two singing a very cool cartoon song from back in the day, as Dutch would say.
These guys know the same cartoon song. I haven't heard it. Deb hasn't heard
either,
it.
yeah,
But Deb,
so-
she's
How
heard it
old are
anyway.
you and Deb if you haven't heard Magilla Gorilla?
Well, I'm older than you, so.
Well, then you should know Magilla Gorilla.
Maybe they only did it up north or something.
That's right.
Maybe
No,
that's
they didn't.
no.
We were out west, yeah.
I don't know why you
Nationwide.
don't know Magilla Gorilla.
Maybe my
Yes,
parents. Maybe
he's
my
right.
parents didn't let me watch
Jim
it.
is right.
That's
Jim is
probably
right.
right.
It was on Cartoon Network on Saturdays.
We want
I
to know
never
why
had
you
Cartoon
don't know
Network
it.
when I was younger.
The poor little
Speed
gorilla was in
Racer.
a yes.
I don't know.
He was in a pet store, Mr. Peebles,
Nobody wanted to buy the poor guy.
Right.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
I don't.
Oh my God, they lack compassion.
We do.
Lack compassion.
A poor
Not now. We were degenerates. We were degenerates the other day,
and now we're
degenerates the other
compassionless.
day, and now we lack compassion.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and have them sing their famous gorilla song.
My best. All right.
Okay.
And a little bit more energetic this time because
Yeah.
now you guys are live on Facebook. This is going worldwide.
Energetic? Okay.
No. All right, ready?
You guys did great.
Jim, you're taking the lead.
3.
This is not a Jim Liar. Go ahead.
We got a gorilla for sale. Magilla gorilla for sale. Won't you buy 'em? Take 'em home and try 'em. Gorilla for sale. See in the window, Magilla gorilla, full of charm and appeal. Handsome, elegant, intelligent, cheap.
You're right.
He's really ideal. Don't you want a little gorilla you could call your own? A gorilla will be with you when you're all alone.
You're right.
That's right, Mr. Peebles.
Mr. Peebles was a creep. Mr. Peebles gonna put him in the zoo, but no, he had to hold on to him because he wanted $1 out. Whoops.
Yeah.
Make sure we do that. But you know what? Jim was saying Mr. Peebles was his favorite. So you're not being very kind to him.
He's our guest.
But then I did hear Jim say, no.
Magilla was he fell for everything. He sat in that window and just did nothing.
He ate bananas.
But he did eat bananas. He could promoted himself and made himself important, but no, he waited for somebody to recognize him.
Huh.
Well, that's great. You guys had that in common. I wonder what else you might have in common.
We're from New York.
So what else?
They're both old.
You're both old. And
We both
bald.
go to the same
Get a little
barber.
bit closer together.
The same barber.
You got to lift up your hat, Jim.
You go to the same
There you
barber.
go. You go to the same barber?
Same
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Brothers from another mother.
$100 a shave.
No, I do it myself.
Oh, damn. We don't go to the same barber.
So you guys were talking earlier, right? You guys are from the same area. You guys know the same places
Around
and some of the same
Orange County,
things.
New York, yes.
And Jim's been riding for quite some time. Jim, tell us a little bit about your riding. Just step closer to the mic if you
There you
would.
go, Jim.
Back in '94, I bought a bike and rode around till 2006 when felt kind of dizzy. Went to the doctor. Long story short, I had a Teflon aorta, double bypass.
Wow.
Artificial valve. So now I'm looking at trike.
Now you're
All right. So
you've got the itch. You need to get back on the road.
That's right.
That's right.
Getting the itch.
And you've been riding how many years?
Probably 35
Before
years.
that. 35 years
And
before
he's
that.
still riding, though.
Yeah.
He is.
The doctor said you can't ride anymore, so what did he do? He bought a trike.
Oh, he wants to get a
He's
trike.
gonna
He's
buy
still
one.
gonna ride.
Well,
Yeah.
he told me, he said I could. He said, you can have a couple beers, but ain't no such thing as a couple. So I don't drink at all.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Good for
wow.
you.
I'm like somebody else over here.
Yeah. There's
I don't know who he's talking about in this tent.
I find this offensive. Who's he talking about?
He's in a good mood now. I
Hey, you
wonder what-
over here.
So if you don't know by now, we are at Thunder by the Bay,
Thunder by the
and
Bay,
we
yeah.
have been so excited to meet lots of bikers,
And
but
a lot of new people.
a lot of new people. But Jim has actually been hanging out right next door to us.
Yeah, he was
in the-
very helpful. Every
Yep.
Hoggy over there has been helpful. These guys have been
Yep.
helpful. They got a little booth here, a lot of great goodies over here. So if you're around, come in
Absolutely.
town, get
So
those.
if you're
What do you
around,
guys-
come
what's
on
the
out.
name of you?
RMH Lasting
So you
Impressions.
gotta come.
So if you're missing the fun, come on out.
And yet Jim, he was over there. He helped us right on. He actually moved Deb and I out of the way, just really forcefully moved us out of the way, and had to come help us set up the lights
So he could hang
it
in the
be
lights
done
for
right.
us, yeah.
Because we knew I wasn't going to do it.
He knew Doug wasn't going to do it, and he was in pain watching us do it. But we thank him for that because he was great. It was great to have all
Dutch
that
was
help.
watching.
Dutch was watching.
doing
I was
nothing.
observing and
He was
supervising.
I told him
supervising from a
after the third
distance,
time,
yeah.
Just let me do it. That's it. It's more than happy to help.
That's
I
right.
did my part, then I sat in that chair good.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Absolutely right.
So, Jim, tell us about maybe, I don't know, how about one of your most memorable ride?
Right.
Do you have one of those?
An adventure ride.
We were riding up in Lake Placid, I believe, and we going around this nice turn, nice and smooth, no cars around, and it was like a commercial. An eagle came down and came right down and went, "Oh," we both ducked down, and it was right by like that. It was
Holy awesome.
Shed. It was awesome. It was
That,
like,
that would be
visual for
phenomenal.
that?
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
right.
That is beautiful.
that was like, that's all I can say.
I mean,
And if you haven't been that part of New York State, it's beautiful, right? The Adirondacks.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So now we know when we go who to connect with to make sure we get the best riding ever. So, yep, we will certainly be sure and do that.
That's what questions do you have for Jim that you guys have in common that you might be able to find some other cartoon characters that you guys really enjoy together?
I do have a question. Do you really think I'm that lazy?
You're doing better now.
He doesn't think he knows. Oh, I just said that.
No, he's right.
He wasn't feeling. He was under the weather.
He was under the weather. That's
Both
right.
under the
So
weather.
You were,
We
and
were.
you were really pushing it hard to be out
I'm
here.
just lazy.
But today you had a breakthrough. It appears.
I did. Yes.
I think he sparked up a little.
Chuck,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. And Chuck brought me some very, very, very good iced tea.
Yeah, iced tea.
Brewed by the natural sun of the Kentucky mountains.
So, what's one of your favorite riding spots up north there, Jim?
Been to Henderson Harbor?
No, never heard of it.
By Alex Bay or anything like that?
Alexandria Bay?
Yes.
Yeah, we actually went there.
That's a beautiful. Is
We
that a
thought-
beautiful spot or what?
My wife loved it because we went to Hart's Castle.
Yes.
Oh.
Bolt Hart Castle.
Well, tell us about that because I'm not familiar
I'm
with
not
that.
familiar with the area.
Is it a real castle?
Yeah, it's
It
a real
really is.
castle. I forget exactly who the millionaire was or multimillionaire. He built this castle, enormous, with an indoor swimming pool, giant, like years ago. And his wife, unfortunately, passed away.
Yep.
And then he stopped building it. But
Okay.
they let you tour through it, and it's like amazing.
No
It's
kidding.
like amazing is all I can say. There's a ferry that goes to it.
So you just show up there. They take you for a tour. How does it work?
You go down a boat, and they take you to the Hart Castle.
Wow.
And then pay like $12, and you go all around. It's
Yeah.
great.
Can you drink and eat there, or just tour the cat? What's the?
It was a while ago. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
So maybe some, because I was thinking about Solomon's Castle. Do they have food?
No, that's down Sarasota. He's talking about.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I
just
can't add a
equating
lot
it.
to that, but he's right. What it was a man. He's the founder of the Astoria Hotel in New York City, and he built this castle for his wife Catherine.
Okay.
And he was in the middle of building it, like Jim said, and Catherine passed away, and he stopped building it.
Indoor swimming pool.
Oh,
And everything.
you're
Bowling
talking
alley.
What year? Like
It was ancient.
well, you didn't see indoor swimming pools.
Yeah.
And he sold it to the Canadian government as a promise
Okay,
they would never exploit it or rebuild it, which of course the Canadian government
Okay.
did.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that was interesting. That's what I was going to ask. So who picked it up? That's going to that keeps it alive or keeps it there. So you explained that. So that's good.
Does the county? He may know that.
Even
Yeah.
across from that, there's a boathouse with antique boats in there and everything else.
Yep.
Really nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. I've been there a couple of
And
times. It's just
so because the
They let
Canadian.
you on that boat?
I passed the background check. They did roll their eyes at me a little bit and say, "All right, really?"
So
All right.
does the boat start in the U.S. and then go over to Canada?
I
don't-
think
I'm-
it's in U.S.
It
I
does.
don't know.
It starts
You
in the
said
U.S.
Canada.
Okay.
But you said Canada border. I think you
But
might
it
have-
does. It goes into the Canadian border. You look at the other islands. It's 1,000 islands of what it is.
All right.
But it's on the U.S. side, right?
Yep, it is.
Okay.
And then eventually the announcer of the boat will say, "You're now in Canadian waters."
Oh,
Then
okay.
you jump in the ocean. Oh my God!
Well, see, that's why I find it interesting because you're saying that the Canadian government took it over, but it's in the U.S. So,
Well, the Canadian government took over that boat castle
okay.
because he donated that for free and said he was very romantic and said, as long as you don't exploit it and build on it and all that, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the Canadian government said, "Screw you, we're going to make money off it." 100 years later.
I don't know if you can say that word.
Screw. Well, sodomite.
Oh, geez. So what else do we got here? Somebody help me out because there's a lot to learn about Jim while we're sitting here BSing.
Jim knows more about Jim than Dutch does.
So, there
That's
you go.
my sister over there.
Throw one out for us.
Which one?
In the green's my sister.
The one that tried to pretend she was my age?
Yeah.
You're not my age.
Whatever.
Liar.
My wife, Tammy, she's the one that went to Bolt Castle, Hart Castle.
Oh, Oh, another beautiful lady. How old are you, Tammy? Don't tell me you're 50 because I don't believe you.
29.
I believe that. I
Very
believe
good.
that.
Wish I could be 29 again.
So do I. Knowing what I know now.
I remember. That was right before I was no longer invincible.
So now you realize you're not invincible, right?
Didn't I get married at 29? Yeah, now
Yeah.
I'm no longer
So
invincible.
when the other Jim, not this one, comes
Yeah.
by,
Yeah.
tells
One with the yellow
story,
slicker.
the one with the orange vest.
That's
The
right.
one with the
Like,
orange
full of-
vest that
full of
lies.
voodoo.
Who's going to tell lies, apparently?
Lies. Apparently, yeah.
I
Yeah.
know nothing about anything.
Does he ever tell the truth at all?
No, and I'm on the record for that.
I mean, I think he might, because I need to make sure he tells the truth.
He tells the truth.
I've always believed in.
So I guess now I'm supposedly didn't know I was invincible.
Yeah.
I got married when I was 19.
19.
I'm still married to the same girl.
Well, I really don't think the marriage
but I was
makes.
still.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it's the marriage that makes you invincible. I think it's the age that finally you realize that you're not invincible. Because 19, I was invincible. I would imagine you were invincible. I was invisible. I think probably right 29, I started to mellow out a little bit. And it was about the same.
Oh, really?
49.
Is that what you called it?
Is that not true?
Dab,
49.
Dab, do you want to chime in on
I
that?
know. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
Mellowing
you wanna
out?
chime in on this?
Yeah, I think it was probably closer to the 49 mark, and it
Oh,
might
really?
have even been
Okay,
Well,
Deb's
like the
still
last
going.
I never have been very good with numbers.
So you still think you're invincible?
No, unfortunately not. I can be hurt real easy now.
Look.
Just carrying some things here to this event has been painful.
Yes,
I don't know what happened to my powers. Actually, in my mind, I still do think I'm invincible, right, Deb? Remember
Yes.
the boat
that's
ride?
my point.
Yeah.
Well, I do, and that's what's going to really probably be my demise. You see, we'll tell a story. We were on a boat. We were at, what, Idaho?
Yes, in Coeur
We're in
d'Alene,
Idaho. It's a great story because Deb's mom is right. What do you call it?
She's
Piloting
captain.
the boat.
She's captain of the boat.
And so she
Navigating the vessel.
navigating the vessel.
Yeah.
Thank you,
I
Jim.
love it. Thanks,
so
Jim.
Wait a minute. So the mother-in-law is navigating.
That's
The
right.
vessel,
Yes,
yes.
she is.
That is a good story.
Oh, wait till you hear it. It gets good.
It gets better.
So she pulls out of the docking area, right?
Oh, good
Then
Lord.
she throws the throttle all the way forward, right? So the boat starts taking off. I mean, it's going, right, Deb? It's hauling
It's
ass.
taking off.
And she
Hey.
freaks out, right? Does
Yeah.
she freak out?
Yeah.
She panics and doesn't know what's going on, so the boat just keeps going and going and going. Well, it's going right for another boat. So Mr. Invincible me actually thinks I'm going to stop this. So I go to the front of the boat as the boat's putting, and I think I'm going to reach over with my hand and stop the boat from colliding with the other boat. True story, right, Deb?
True story.
I thought I
You
was
had
invincible.
orange vest on?
It did not work.
No.
I thought no, it's the S. I don't have the S on anymore. I thought for sure I was Superman.
the orange water
that
vest
sort of
flew way
enlightened me a
off.
little bit. But yeah, true story. I really did that, and I got hurt.
Yeah. Craziness. And that was way before.
Oh, and then they dropped the ladder in, and I dove after it. Who was I?
You were Chuck Bell.
That's
for
right.
Christ's sakes.
Superman.
Yeah.
We were on the Hudson. We were on the Hudson, and buddy, we all had boats. I still have a boat, and long story short, my buddy's in the boat. Pretty good sized guy, not as big as Dutch, but.
Well, nobody is.
And he goes, "Oh, I forgot to put the plug in." This is
Oh,
while I
no.
was invincible. I dove out of the boat in the middle of the Hudson and put the plug back in.
Oh,
and I was able to climb back in.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hear you climb back in, no doubt.
Yes.
Well, you saved the day there because
That's for
otherwise
sure.
it'd be all down at the bottom of the water right now.
The Hudson,
yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yep.
We went from Newburgh all the way through the Manhattan Island by the Statue of Liberty, came back out, went all the way out to Buoy 32, caught a whole bunch of fish, come back. That was like a 3-day adventure.
Nice.
See?
Slept right on the boat and everything.
The
Yep.
New Yorkers are badass.
I guess
All
so.
on 64.5 gallons of gas because my buddy kept saying, "You don't need no more gas. You'll make it. You'll make it." And it only holds 65.
Oh, wow.
gosh.
It took 64.5 gallons of fuel when we got back.
Oh,
Like
talk
nothing
about
like
cutting
pushing it
close.
to the
Oh,
limit.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Sounds familiar.
That was fun. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great time.
Oh, yeah.
See? You thought us New Yorkers were wimpy, right?
I did. I really thought you were all that
now,
way.
now that we're down here, the tough guys from New York move down here.
And then tubing on Swinging Bridge.
Oh, okay.
And tubing, my God.
Oh, God, that was a
It's
lot of
like-
fun.
Tubing, as in
Would
tubing
turn-
down?
You,
No,
no,
you
you're,
jump in a... Go ahead.
you're behind the boat.
Yep.
You're behind the boat with
In what?
in a tube.
Tube.
Yes.
And it's got
Okay.
a rope on it. And
Yes.
the boat and you let go of the steering. Well, I used to do is I'd let go of the steering wheel. I'd move my skeg on the outdrive to one side, so when you let go of the wheel, it would kind of go in a circle.
Right.
So I just had it floored and went in a circle, and the guy would like slingshot right out.
Oh,
It
my
was a
gosh.
big guy, then again, not as big as Dutch.
I'm loving Jim every
Dutch
day.
knows who the pizza place is.
He flew off the tube, and his vest was inside out.
Oh.
So funny.
Ah, the good old days.
Yeah.
Now I went for a little ride with my grandson, with my buddy just trolling along with his boat, and it was like holding on. Before, like, big time, hard. Whoa. Fall off and be like,
Oh,
and
God.
my eyelids would turn inside out.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, and my wife, she lost her top. She didn't want to get up.
Oh, let me repeat that part again.
My wife lost her
Say
top.
that a little slower.
He does
My
it.
wife
Oh,
lost
boy.
her top.
His wife
Three
lost
times.
her top.
Right.
There's a visual. Many
Yeah.
moons ago.
Yeah.
So explain to us where you live up in New York and what you're surrounded by, and a little bit about that, if you would, Jim.
It's, we're right by High Point, where New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania meet. It's the highest point, I believe, in that area. There's a park there and a tower. Great
all
place,
right.
Delaware River.
Oh,
You can
beautiful
tube down
over
the
there.
Delaware River.
I love Delaware County. It's a beautiful county. We should
Go
go.
to Jersey to get cheaper gas.
Yeah, they do. Where'd Mommy go?
I sent her to. I saw a really good-looking young lady walk by, and I asked Deb to go see what she could do
Can Jim and I
to bring
get-
her back by. Because I just thought it would be very good for the conversation. Yeah, actually, I think it might have been Dutch.
Well, that was a good conversation.
I'm too busy just trying to keep myself, here in the moment. It's
Exactly.
difficult sometimes.
I've had a sip of my drink in
I know.
half an hour.
Is there anything in it other than ice? I know. What Deb say? Really? You think you drank all that?
Yeah, that was a mistake on her part. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Deb, what'd you say earlier at the house? Really? You think you're going to drink all that? What'd you say?
Yeah. Do you really think you're going to drink all that today? And I didn't mean like by 2 o'clock, but if that happens,
no, that's
hey.
understandable. You
that was-
guys just met, what, 3 minutes ago?
That was like 9 o'clock it was gone, wasn't it?
No, I understand.
Wow.
that. You guys haven't known each other that long, right?
How long
Day,
have we?
two,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
How
Couple
long
days.
have we known each other?
Couple of days, I think.
Yeah, just a few. I don't know.
Know that.
Going on
Yeah.
29 years in a couple months, so hey.
You know, most people get paroled after 25 years.
Yeah, he's still here voluntarily.
Yeah.
What do you think?
My wife always says, should have killed him 30 years ago. I'd have been out by now.
There you go.
we're about ready to surprise Dutch. Oh, she heard it. She listened to it. Did you listen to it?
How about
Oh, but
that?
she told you. Okay, how you doing, Kurt? He's just, Yeah, he was going to tell you. So we got Kurt here and Terry, and it's good to see them. And Dutch, you can stay here, Jim, if you want. And Dutch just mentioned Terry a week ago on the last week's show. No, that's not Jim. That's Kurt, otherwise known as Mankini.
Yes. Are we still in the air?
Yeah, we still
This
are.
is
Yeah, we
Terry,
still are
the one
recording.
I spoke with last week. Now I know her name. She remembers my name. But unfortunately, her husband's behind me. The future I thought we'd have kind of died. In my mind, it lasted a lot longer than that.
But not 29 years.
At least till I fell asleep.
It was probably the best what, Dutch? I don't know.
4 seconds of my life.
Well, you guys are great, and you guys having a good time. You're back for the second day?
Oh, God.
Yeah? Well, that's good.
I don't know what that's like.
I was going to ask if Dutch had any idea what that meant.
Often you'll know.
Get your camera. Let's follow him. Bear cam, right? There we go. There we go. It's a perfect spot.
Love you guys.
I love you too. Thanks a lot. Good seeing you guys as always. All right, have a good time, folks. All right. Oh, that was great. Great seeing them. Nice little treat for you, Dutch.
Yes, except she's gone.
She's gone.
I thought she would marry me. I guess when you're married, you have no interest in the guy who wants to marry you. The limitations are very, well limited.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and take a little break. I think we need to get a little fresher, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
By the way, Jim, thanks for being here. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Okay, well, we hope that you enjoyed the show as much as we enjoyed it while we were there at Thunder by the Bay. And thanks so much for Thunder by the Bay for having us and for the Suncoast Charities for Children. We hope that it was a fantastic event for you guys. So, Deb will take us out.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and on our website at bikerliferadio.com. Thank you again, and we'll see you again soon.
You've been listening to Biker Life Radio with Chuck and Deb, heard each Wednesday afternoon right here on 1490 AM WWPR. We thank you for listening and invite you to join us next week. Hi, this is Chuck with the Chuck and Deb Show. If you'd like to be a sponsor on our show, please contact us at 216-7625. That's 216-ROCK. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.